Masani. How do you do? This is not only the secret behind the secret, but this is the secret behind the royal mindset. And this is one of the greatest secrets of old money elite around the world. The secret to the elite mindset. So, what is the secret? And this secret is called Stoicism. When Europe was bought, the Queen of England said keep calm and carry on. And that is part of Stoicism. Notice, she didn't say manifest or astrology or some form of New Age woo-woo. No, she said keep calm and carry on. And this is part of the legacy of Stoicism of great Roman emperors and also many philosophers, and there's a corollary in Eastern philosophy as well. Great Stoic philosophers include Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Cicero, and Seneca. I'm currently reading Epictetus's Art of Living. Previously, I was reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. The President of China has read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius 700 times. So it's a book read by many business and elite world leaders. And even Alux today, or recently, had a podcast where they bashed manifesting and said you should read Stoicism because really that is what elites read, and that is the wisdom of intergenerational wealth. If you see my Instagram, you'll know, and my Instagram is @almusani, and I put it below. You'll notice that I'm a Stoic femininity coach, and therefore I teach affluent mindset from its very original, from several thousand years ago, and relate it to femininity and hypergamy. So, what are some of the most important concepts of Stoicism? First of all, number one, you cannot change the world, but you certainly can change how you react to it. By that, you create your high value. A high value person has agency, or as in, they take responsibility. That's why Dr. Jordan Peterson starts with clean your room. That's why in the army, they first teach the soldier not to fix the rifle or something like this or load a gun, but they teach the soldier to clean his bed properly and set his bed properly, because that's where it starts. Taking personal responsibility and not blaming others is what makes a person high value. A high value person is high agency, as in takes responsibility. So a high value person, for a CEO to get to the top, or if a CEO falls in love with you for who you are, for your personality, because you have the same values he wants to pass on to his children, he is looking for someone who is high agency, as in high value. That means you do not blame the world for your problems, but you take responsibility for yourself, even if it's not your fault. That doesn't mean you cannot be a modern feminist, as in you cannot blame patriarchy or capitalism for your problems, right? The power comes from taking responsibility for yourself. Taking responsibility is where your power lies. So you cannot change the world. And if you blame the patriarchy, then you give the patriarchy the power. So the intelligent thing to do is take back the power by taking responsibility for your role in the situation, even though it's not your fault, because you cannot change the situation, but you can change how you react to it. And also, you cannot change the entire world. You merely can change your reaction. And that takes away your frustration and brings the power back to yourself. And that is how high-value men climb to the top of social power hierarchies. And that is how you ladies can marry someone at the top or move your career to the peak. You don't see high-value men complaining all the time. High-value men are doers. They look at a situation and see, oh, I can do this. No, I cannot do that, but I have these resources, and this is how I break down what are the threats and what are my opportunities in the environment and how I can get ahead given my resources. High-value men are resourceful, and they look at every opportunity and they take responsibility. Where a low-value man like Kevin Samuels will say, oh, those women, it's totally their fault. Women are not good enough, women are this, women are that. Where high-value men take responsibility and they act instead of talk. Alux created a video where it's one of my favorite podcasts and YouTube channels, and I do recommend you subscribe to them. That is a positive channel that's quite useful, where I find most of the insights work, although I have a critique about them recommending stoicism but not manifesting. And they were referring to a study about people who were simply manifesting like fools, hoping something happens, and they were less likely to achieve their goal. Well, the reality is manifesting is part of Stoicism. If you read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, he said your thoughts are the cloth, and they're the dye that dyes the fabric of your life. If you have a vision board, it helps you not only have high morale, but know where you're going and control your thoughts better. Instead of ruminating, woe is me, this is wrong, and that is wrong. It's so easy in life to think what is going wrong, instead of thinking, oh, what is going right, having a plan, breaking the plan down into goals that are realistic. Oh, I can do this to get further to my goal, and so on. Another principle of Stoicism is that you're the product of your environment, your thoughts, what you think, and who you surround yourself with. And that's where the secret got, the positive mindset, where my critique is today there are too many manifesting gurus who go with the woo-woo and all that. But the original intent was that too many people in poverty ruminate about their problems all the time and have no time to think, oh, in the ideal world, what are my goals and where do I want to go? When I was at Miss Universe Canada, I asked the ladies, how did you get here? And everyone had read The Secret and had a vision board. And then they made different decisions that led to another, that led to the other decision. And somehow it got to there. It got us to getting into Miss Universe Canada, although for some of us that wasn't the goal or anything. But, it's just the direction, and it brings up your morale. In war, what's really important to win is organization and morale. And that is where vision boards help. Where they're a scam is that you just sit there and daydream and do nothing, then nothing happens if you do not let the vision board, if you do not act and simply think, oh, I'm watching a vision board, and do nothing to get to your goal. Manifesting alone does nothing, but it does help you when you control your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius said that your thoughts are the dye that dyes the fabric of your life. So, if you think of your thoughts and control them more, you're better able to reach your goal or your destination. One of the goals of Stoicism is to be able to be in control of your emotions, so that your thoughts dictate your emotions and you reach your goals instead of being distracted by your emotions all the time. It doesn't mean not feeling your emotions. It means feeling them, but not letting them distract you from doing what is right for your life. And it matters where you think, okay, is what I am doing right now? Greek Stoics believed that the emotions are a horse and your mind or logic is the rider. So you don't want the horse to run around everywhere and then wondering, where are you going? Someone asked a man going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, where are you going? And the man said, I don't know, I'm just letting the horse take the lead. That is how you are. If you follow your heart, you follow your feelings, and you follow your feelings to get married, that's like the worst disaster. If you follow your mind, you can have your mind control your emotions, and that's the final goal. If you want to live the best life ever, then you have to be able to have some emotional self-control. And a lot of emotional self-control is understanding that you cannot change things, but you can only change your reaction. Is what I'm doing, is this action I want to take going to help me achieve my goals and live my best life? If it is not going to concretely help me achieve my goals, but makes me feel good, for example, saying a mean word, or what? Will Smith did, right? It made him feel good at the time, but did it help his career? Did it help his marriage? No, right? So you think, okay, how is this serving the life that I want to live? If this is not serving my goals, then probably I shouldn't do it. Marcus Aurelius said, fig trees will produce figs, and a bad mindset or a scarcity mindset is going to produce a bad person. There are scarcity trees out there, and they produce bad people. There are fig trees out there, and they produce figs. There are good trees, there are bad trees. There are all sorts of plants out there, and they bear fruit or they have thorns, right? And they're out there, and you cannot change that at all, right? So do not get mad and just keep on going, right? Some plants, like a rose, produces the rose and also produces thorns. In life, the bad makes us value the good. So Stoicism helps us keep calm and carry on in the worst and best situations. In life, there are tragedies and celebrations. This weekend, we received some horrible news, some positive news, out of Ukraine, and we keep calm, we carry on, we remember those who passed, and we celebrate life, and we continue. Marcus Aurelius said that death smiles at us, and all we can do is smile back. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor who wrote Meditations, and that has been the guide for Stoicism for so many, and he reflected a lot on Epictetus, who's a freed slave. And Stoicism helped so many people go through the worst of times and stay sane, and through the best of times and not lose their head. One of the most effective forms of therapy, psychotherapy, comes from Stoic philosophy. Most of these life coaches take part of Stoic philosophy. Even Oprah, for example, right? She said that I'm the master of my own destiny and the captain of my own ship. This is wonderful. But Oprah and many life coaches actually take their ideas from Stoic philosophy without attribution, and that is the original source. It does not help you get rich quick. There is no such recipe, but it will guide you how to get rich and how to preserve the wealth for generations, or achieve your goal, whether it's survival, wealth, happiness, or whatever it might be, and guide you that way. Understanding Stoicism helps you converse with the upper classes. If you'll notice, they have a lower emotional register. They're not always very emotional. You'll see the commercials are much calmer in tone and less loud and rambunctious compared to things that are aimed at the lower classes, because most affluent people who got there because of some form of Stoicism that led to their inner peace and inner calm and inner work, right? And that's why they relate much more to things that are rather on the calm side of things instead of being loud and rambunctious. The more you know about Stoicism, the more you have in common with aristocracy or high-value men or businessmen, who, many of whom studied Stoic philosophy. Some have higher Stoic business coaches. You will see a lot of Stoicism taught in MBA master's programs and so on. Learning Stoicism is one of the keys to building and maintaining intergenerational wealth, as well as communicating with the elite and especially old money intergenerational wealth. The more you know about Stoicism, the more you practice, the more you have a common language. I'm so lucky to have a review from Nordstrom, from Yves Saint Laurent coming up, and also I'm so lucky to have a review from Nordstrom, from Yves Saint Laurent coming up, and also I have that scandalous etiquette video involving Anna Bay and her students coming up, and I want to know, after that, would you want me to review the new rules of dressing old money, or would you want to hear some of the secrets of Dubai and the dark side of the elite that you haven't heard already, on why a lady shouldn't bag a billionaire, but instead should go for an upper middle class man, or a man with 4 million or so, and not someone with, $500 million or $1 billion and so on. In the comments, let me know if you want to know more about the new rules of dressing old money, which is not the same as the dressing expensive on a budget videos you see on YouTube. But since they all know that's what you're looking for, copying the 90s aesthetic. Old money today has a slightly different aesthetic, so that an imposter has a more difficult time to blend in for security reasons. Do you want to know the new rules of dressing old money? Or do you want to know? And coming soon is the scandalous video on Anna Bay and my review for Yves Saint Laurent. Ciao! Please share, like or hate, and subscribe and comment below. Au revoir!